It's so good to see everybody today for our first ever inaugural Skin Laundry Wellness Retreat. Let's give it up! First ever! Did anybody do the yoga this morning already and get your workout on? That's amazing. You did too? Gosh, how did you turn it around and look that cute already? That's amazing. That's why I skipped it. But anyway, my name is Catt. I'm Catt Sadler. I'm going to be the host and moderate this amazing discussion that we're going to have today with these gorgeous women who are all glowing, by the way. Everyone's got great skin here already. But you may know me from being on your TV for many years on E! But now I have a wellness podcast, a weekly drop every week called Catt Sadler Now. And it's interesting because I get to speak with really remarkable women like the ladies beside me today, talking about all things wellness and health and personal growth and living our best lives and feeling beautiful in our bodies. And it's been a real transition for me from the world of celebrities and entertainment and all of that. But I just think it's great to connect on these ideas of living our best lives and feeling good in our skin. And so that's how I came to know Skin Laundry. I've been a fan for years now. I've been to the Studio City location in LA, the Brentwood location, the Larchmont location. Have you guys had any treatments since you've been here so far? Oh, yes. Were you happy? They're like, yes. I think my favorite is the signature facial because it's a hero. It's such a classic. It's quick. It's 15 minutes. No downtime. She can give you the whole spiel. It doesn't hurt. And you are going to give us the whole download. But I noticed that like instantly, all my dullness is zapped away. I feel brighter and more refreshed in just like an instant. It's amazing. It's even a family affair in my house at Skin Laundry. My son was really struggling with acne for a while. And then he got in the Skin Laundry game and all that redness went away. His acne went away. So I'm a fan. And if you're here today, clearly you are skin obsessed, probably like a lot of us, and maybe even treatment obsessed. But today we're really going to talk about this holistic approach when it comes to our skin, because the reality is the largest organ on our body, how we are living is really showing up on our faces at the end of the day. What we're consuming, the choices we're making, how much sleep we're getting, how much wine we're drinking. If we're in that toxic relationship, dating that dude with like a dozen red flags, that's going to show up on our face. Stress really does matter. So today we're going to talk about nutrition. I didn't leave you out. All of these types of holistic approaches when it comes to our skin health and overall longevity. And the quality of our skin at the end of the day. So without further ado, let's get some introductions going. I'm going to start with Nzingah down there at the end. Nzingah is a holistic health consultant, a vegan chef, and a yoga teacher. Welcome. We're going to get into mindfulness today and the importance of going in and how that shows up on the outside. And next to her, we have certified yoga teacher. She says we can just call her Mimi Yoga. because she founded Mimi Yoga. Mimi Ghandour, so nice to have you today. And then to my left, certified nutritionist, cookbook author, Mia Rigden. So nice to know you. And way down on my other left, sleep. We got to get into it. We got to get into the sleep of it all. Board certified physician, certified sleep specialist, and author, Dr. Angela Holliday-Bell. Nice to have you. And then finally, to my right, Chief Medical Officer for Skin Laundry, board certified dermatologist. You've got all of the answers for us today, Dr. Roberta Del Campo. So nice to meet you. Let's give it up for all these ladies. Let's start with the skin. Let's do it. And we can get into again some of the topical treatments and the facials we can get to really optimize our skin health. But let's just break it down from the beginning. Like, why is just even a skincare routine for each of us important?
Well, it's important, obviously, to work on your skin on a daily basis. We know that every day we have intrinsic factors that are leading to aging, damaged collagen, and really that's in our DNA. And then we have the extrinsic factors. So, factors on the outside. So, environmental factors, UV radiation, pollution, what we're putting on our skin that can actually damage our skin. Yeah. So we really need to think about this daily process, just like when you're working out, about how we're going to use products that match our skin type to really improve our skin quality. So it's important to know your skin type. We need to know if we're oily or if we're dry or sensitive. And that will really help guide what types of products we use to better our skin.
And what's a good way to go about that initially? Because I'm sure everybody's sitting here today. Some people, we all have different genes as well, and we all live in different climates. People came from all over. How do we even just kind of break down what kind of skin we have and then what products to use?
This is where Skin Laundry comes in. I mean, it's really important to go to an expert. And what I pride myself with this company is that we are all about education. So all of our providers are educated on different skin types, different treatments, how to analyze the skin, know what's best for a patient or a client. There are so many centers out there, laser centers, providers who just throw the same treatment at everyone. So it's not personalized. It's not best for their skin type. And that's where Skin Laundry comes in. So when a client comes into our clinic, we analyze their skin, we recommend treatments and products based on what is going to improve their skin type. And this is where that education really is the first pillar for the right treatments.
I really think you guys coined the market truly on this 15-minute situation, because not everybody can go spend half a day or a whole day at a spa and be there on the table for like 3 hours or whatever it is. So what is it about these particular facials and the laser itself, how it works, that it can be done so quickly?
Technology. It's nice that technology really has improved over the last decade. We think about lasers. I did a fellowship in lasers and energy-based devices. So I am a board certified dermatologist, but I did extra training in aesthetic dermatology, but specifically in lasers and energy-based devices. And I say that only because my fellowship was approximately 12 years ago, and the technology has changed. When I was training and learning, it was a lot of downtime. It was higher risk. It was devices that were uncomfortable, and that maybe didn't fit every skin type or skin tone. And this is where new technology has been built to really give us effective treatments, but safe treatments on all skin types and all skin tones. And that's kind of where I come in. So I help to guide the company on innovative devices, innovative treatments, treatments that really do transform the skin, but do it safely on everyone. And access is also important. Being a dermatologist, patients wait weeks and sometimes months to get into my clinic. And if somebody wants a laser treatment because their acne is breaking out, or they're just ready to start their journey, we want access. We want to make sure that it's available, it's cost effective, and they really do get those results.
What are you most excited about with the technology, and what is new? I know that even in the last year, so many new things have come about.
I love boosters. So lasers should be the starting point, and energy-based devices to really do these treatments to start that transformation. But when we start applying peptides and growth factors and antioxidants to these treatments, it really does boost those results. And this is something that can also increase the longevity of those results for our clients. So we have a lot of new fun things coming that we've been working on the back end. And some of you will get to experience that today. I know one of our lovely winners was able to enjoy our new sculpting facial, which is the best RF treatment on the market. It's multipolar, so we really get that skin heat up quickly. It's very comfortable, and you see the results immediately, but it gets better with each treatment. So we have a new device coming, a new signature facial coming. We have new boosters coming. You name it. We're always innovating. I mean, this is truly my second job outside my clinic. You guys know that. My team, it's constantly every single day calls. What else is new? What can we add in? How can we improve our treatments? How can we boost the energy levels to give even more effective treatments? So we're always thinking. And I think that's really important, because how many times do we think about a treatment that just kind of stops working? Yeah. And what are the next steps? You have to know what the next steps are and continue innovating.
If any of you, do you all get gift bags yet? Or some of you? Yes. Okay. Because I did when I got to my room last night. I got some of the serums. I did the sheet mask as I sat in bed eating potato chips. Not proud of that, but late flight,
each other.
You do what you got to do. But the all the products are really, really great as well. And all the different
all medical grade.
Yeah. Very, very, very good. I already got like a little sloughing on my face when I woke up this morning. I was like, wow,
fantastic.
Even before my
increase your cell
facial.
turnover. We love that.
Cell turnover. Yes. You mentioned the sculpting, the new treatment, which I am so excited to try. I think everybody wants a sculpted face. It's a very great look. That we hear that word a lot today. Are you a fan of the tools on the market today for at home, like the rollers and is it gua sha?
The gua sha. I mean, I use gua sha. I like it. It's a temporary little tightening and lift, but it's not really transforming your skin.
Okay.
And many of these at-home devices are underpowered. And that's why it really is important to go into a provider who can offer these somewhat more aggressive treatments that really are more transformative. I'm not against at-home devices. I think they're a nice little bonus as an add-on, but it does not replace in-office treatments.
Okay. From a holistic standpoint and things you see in your patients and people who come maybe with problem skin or really dull skin or terrible texture on their skin, what are you noticing that they are doing lifestyle-wise that is producing this, let's say, less than optimal skin?
I would say number one, stress. I mean, I know when a patient comes into me and they look dull and their hair's shedding and they're breaking out. And more commonly than not, I say, what's going on? Is everything okay? And, I'm under a lot of stress. I'm just not myself. And then stress leads to not sleeping as well. It leads to maybe not eating as well because they're popping things quickly in their mouth. Maybe they're not taking the time to meditate and do yoga. And, these are things I like to discuss with my patient. I am a big believer in inside, outside, outside, inside, and total mind, body, and soul health. And what we do on our daily lifestyle really does affect what we see on the outside. I mean, we all see a difference when we cut out alcohol, when we eat more antioxidants, those berries, when we get more sleep. So these are things that we can see in ourselves, and it transpires to my patients as well.
Do you personally, you have great skin, by the way.
Thank you.
Do you have what's a one favorite at-home thing that you do that is a non-negotiable? Is it like a super heavy moisturizer at night? Is it a retinol? What do you live by?
Retinol. That's an easy one. Okay. It helps to brighten the skin. It's great for collagen production. It helps with dark spots. So it really is a hero product. I would say the most important thing, though, is figure out what the best strength is for your skin type. Because if you overtreat the skin, so you use a retinoid that's too strong that causes inflammation or starts to cause cracks in the skin, that can actually make your skin look worse. And that can open up the skin to bacteria, viruses, allergens. So again, going back to understanding your skin type and having direction from a provider who is very educated with skin health.
Mm-hmm. We hear this word longevity a lot, and maybe that's because I'm getting older. I'm probably one of the oldest people in this room, I feel like, but it's never too early to start thinking about aging skin. We all are aging by the day. Absolutely. That is a fact. What are you noticing in the market just about, preserving the skin? It's not always just fixing it, but turning on the cells today to work for us as we age.
Absolutely. Well, I think now we have so much more access to social media and to just media in general that are educating us about skin health and the normal aging processes. So you can go on TikTok, Instagram, any beauty magazine, and it's become a really hot topic. And we all want to look our best. So that conversation also comes up at the dinner table with girlfriends. And I think this is where it's changing the landscape because younger and younger individuals are starting to think about skin health. And I think it's never too young. Like you said, I mean, think about acne. That's an inflammatory skin condition. That's redness, that's swelling in the skin. What that leads to under the skin surface are cracks in the skin, inflammation, that can damage the skin. So, When these youngins start to get acne, it's a time also that I speak to them about improving overall skin health and not just treating their acne, but what else can we do to preserve healthy skin now to set them up for the future?
Mm-hmm. I'm curious. Hormone replacement therapy. I'm thinking of hormones, acne, and then just, a lot of women today at midlife are leaning into HRT for the first time in many decades because of new research that's been discovered and how that plays into skin health. Are you a fan? Do you think there are some benefits from women who decide to take HRT?
Absolutely. And that's where also going to a provider who can help guide whether it's the right treatment for that individual, because obviously adding something in that potentially can have risks when not done the right way. But when you go to a provider, just like a skin provider, someone who is educated and knowledgeable and can guide you in the right direction, I think it's phenomenal. I see a change in my patient's skin. They come in and they say, look, now I'm more plump. I'm not so dry. My skin's not irritated because I started this therapy. So I definitely believe in the benefits. And I think it's something that women should speak more about and take control of and just find the right provider.
Okay. One last question for you before we move on is, what is one absolute no-no in your life that you will not either consume or do, or something you live by in your own personal life that affects your skin directly the very most?
I mean, this is probably common sense, but anyone smoking, I step away.
Not even in the same room.
No, I don't want that on my skin. I feel a difference. And luckily, today's day and age is changing a bit. So, but that is one thing. The minute I see somebody, I step away.
Okay. That's good advice. It's a good thing that it's against the law in most indoor places these days.
Can you imagine back then? Yeah.
Can you imagine flying here and somebody's lighting up on the plane next to you? Can you imagine? Okay. Thank you so much. Again, think of your questions for Roberta here, as we'll have some more questions from you guys in just a little bit. But I want to talk about sleep, Angela. Yes. Okay. I want to get into sleep because we hear about sleep just being overall one of the biggest pillars of overall health and living longer and healthier and all of that. But as it pertains to our skin, why is sleep so important?
Sleep is so important. Sleep plays a very critical role in skin health because it helps to support some pretty vital processes that need to occur, like cell repair, collagen production, and hydration. So when you're sleeping, your body is hard at work in repair mode, working to undergo skin cell regeneration and repairing damage done during the day, as you mentioned, from environmental stressors like UV rays, pollution, and really just stress in general. And it's those deeper stages of sleep in particular that are important for collagen production, which is the molecule that gives skin its elasticity and youthful appearance. Sleep also helps to regulate the release of the stress hormone cortisol. So when you're not getting enough sleep, it causes an increase in the release of cortisol, which not only causes a breakdown of collagen, but also leads to an inflammatory state that can trigger or worsen certain inflammatory skin conditions like acne and eczema. And then lastly, sleep helps to boost circulation. So it ensures that oxygen-rich, nutrient-dense blood reaches the skin, which also helps to give it a healthy, youthful appearance.
Well, my gosh, it makes me want to sleep for 20 hours after hearing all of the reasons we need to sleep. Can I just get a sleep chamber real quick?
Yes.
I mean, there's just so many reasons a good night's sleep is important for all the vanity reasons of looking good, but just feeling good. And that collagen production is so huge. So we need sleep.
Absolutely.
I feel like a lot of people are sleep deprived, even though we know everything you just said in many ways, get a good night's sleep. What are some good ways to help people sleep better?
Yeah. So I would say top 3 tips for better sleep that I start any conversation with is to prioritize sleep. Simply making sleep a priority in your life will work wonders because most of us go throughout our lives and our busy days, working, taking care of home duties, binge watching our favorite show, and then we leave whatever time is left over for sleep. And it doesn't tend to work like that, right? You have to make sleep a priority in your life. But then also there are a few small changes you can make that can make big differences in your sleep. So the first is to keep a consistent schedule. Waking up at the same time is actually the most important, even more important than going to sleep at the same time. But ideally, waking up, going to sleep at the same time each night including on the weekends. Okay. So weekends count as days. That's where a lot of people get tripped up. But that's one of the best ways to reinforce your circadian rhythm. The next is to get natural light exposure, ideally within an hour of waking. It's also a great way to reinforce and strengthen your circadian rhythm. Engaging in a relaxing, soothing bedtime routine is so important. I feel like as adults, if you have children, most people have a bedtime routine for their kids, but then completely forget to do that for themselves. Indulging in a skincare routine is a great thing to add to your bedtime routine, and leaving screens out of the picture is also important. And then lastly, creating
Don't skip over that. I wish my boyfriend was here right now. Leaving screens out of the picture. It's hard to do. Why is that important?
Yeah, because so I say to get natural light exposure within an hour of waking, because light is the strongest factor that influences your circadian rhythm in a way that tells you to be awake and alert. Blue light in particular, which screens are rich in, has the strongest alerting effect on your circadian rhythm. So when you're looking at your phone a few inches from your face or the television or your tablet, you're actually telling your brain you want to be awake and alert. It can delay your natural melatonin release by hours and make it more difficult to fall asleep and to get into the deep stages of sleep.
No screens.
No screens. No screens.
Do you have a bedtime ritual? What do you do?
Yeah,
Do you mind sharing it with us?
Of course. Yeah. So I like to really indulge before bed. Like that's my me time. Like there's music playing, candles lit. Like it's a whole thing that I really enjoy. My skincare routine is a part of it. So I'm doing my skincare routine while I'm listening to music and relaxing. I usually do a devotional with my husband and then do a little bit of reading.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's such a thing as a sleep snob, but anybody who knows me, like I think I was just instinctually born this way, but like sleep is very important to me. And I am like, no notifications. If my mom comes to stay with me, I'm like, turn that phone off. I protect sleep with my life. I want it dark. I want it cold.
Love that.
I do the same thing. Like I have a little nighttime ritual, not always, but try to.
Yeah.
Does anybody like use any of the apps? I think those are helpful to like try to fall asleep. I listen to the Calm app sleep stories where it's like, you feel like you're a little kid again and you're laughing. My friends laugh at me. We go on vacation. I'm like, we're going to play the sleep story before we go to bed. We're like, this is so weird, but it helps. What your brain is doing, like some of the research with how the brain goes to sleep has everything to do with the quality of sleep during
100%.
the day. I also got one really good tip about sleep, where like as the last thing you're thinking about before you go to bed, what you're thinking about really matters. And to like almost go through a treasure hunt of your day, recalling all of the most beautiful moments that you had and remembering those as you go to sleep. So then while you're sleeping, you could tend to even have better dreams and your sleep is more deep. And there are a lot of benefits from that too.
Yeah. There's been research that people who keep a gratitude journal or simply think about one thing they're grateful for before bed tend to have better, deeper sleep.
Yeah. Okay. And that collagen production. So we're happy. We're happy.
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, win. Okay. Well, let's move on to food for a little bit because I think everybody's heard it, you are what you eat. Food is thy medicine. So how, Mia, does what we are consuming really affect our largest organ, our skin?
So the best diet for your skin is going to be the best diet for your optimal health. Your skin is really just a reflection of what's happening inside of your body, which is kind of remarkable because you can see cellular changes positively or negatively that are happening inside of your body on your skin. So I normally like to recommend, and you'll hear these terms talked about from every avenue, but an anti-inflammatory diet with adequate protein and a lot of antioxidants. So I want to talk about antioxidants because Dr. Del Campo mentioned it, but it's a term we're all familiar with, but a lot of people don't know what it really is. So free radicals are unstable molecules that damage your cells. So we're talking about skin cells. So these are the things that damage your skin cells and can lead to like premature aging, inflammation, and antioxidants are like the antidote to this. So they literally like scavenge around and they stabilize those molecules. So those are plants. If you eat a diversity of micronutrient-rich plants, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes, you're going to be getting a ton of antioxidants that are going to help stabilize those molecules.
That's like we hear this like eat the colors of the rainbow because you're getting all the different buckets, all the different nutrients.
So I tell my clients to eat 30 different plants a week.
Wow.
Because antioxidants, that's when I say micronutrients, these are the nutrients that your body needs in smaller amounts. So think vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients. So the more diversity of plants in your diet, just the more diversity of micronutrients you're going to consume.
Okay. And when we think of inflammation, that is what? Fried foods, oil, the wrong oils. Like how does that
sugar,
show
alcohol,
up?
processed foods, stress, lack of sleep, all the things.
It's crazy how quickly, I don't know if you guys are like this, but how like I can tell of like one big weekend of one too many margaritas or one too many orders of French fries. Like on a Monday morning, I wake up and I look in the mirror and I'm like, whoa, it's crazy how quickly that can show up on your face.
Yeah.
And that's just what you're seeing. But imagine like what's actually going on.
That's the scary
below
part.
The surface, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So try to get all those nutrient dense foods to fight the radicals.
Yes.
Fight the radicals. The free
that.
radicals. Fight the radicals. Okay. Well, like what else could we be doing? What are some tips for people to actually pull that off? Because it's one thing to say, you know, we know eat healthy, try to be clean, but how can we get that into our day-to-day life more easily?
Okay. So when I say 30 plants, most of the time I get an eye roll. Like I can't even name 30 plants, but I'll count herbs. Garlic, onion, shallot would be different from onion. You know, there's different types of onions, different types of lettuces, nuts, seeds, beans, lentils, all these things. So when you start thinking about it, it's actually not as hard as it sounds. A lot of times when people go to the grocery store, you buy broccoli, you buy spinach, you buy the same things every week. So trying to use like a template to get different vegetables and fruits in the mix. Like maybe you just roast a batch of vegetables every week or steam them and just have them in the fridge. We were talking earlier about turning your fridge into a salad bar.
Of that.
And speaking of salad bars, if you go to Sweet Green, for example, you can get like 15 plants in a salad. So once you just start thinking in that way, I think it's always a good exercise, maybe for 1 week, 2 weeks to food journal and to count it out. And to focus on it. You don't need to do that forever, but just putting your attention and awareness towards it will help you to realize how you can incorporate more diversity into your diet. And it matters as well with your proteins. So collagen, keratin, these are made of protein. So when you consume protein-rich foods, your body breaks it down into amino acids, then it uses those amino acids to rebuild into the proteins like collagen that create elasticity in our skin. So you want to make sure that you're getting adequate protein. That's also going to help you to regulate your blood sugar levels, which will reduce inflammation. It has so many incredible benefits. I think if you're going to do one thing, eat a lot of protein, 30 grams a meal, increasing your protein will change your life.
We hear that a lot. Protein's like having a big comeback right now.
Oh yeah. Protein's having a moment.
Protein. It's having a moment. It is the moment.
Yes.
Protein.
Yes.
Okay.
And then also the omega-3. So omega-3 fatty acids that you're going to get from fatty fish, eggs, seeds like chia seeds, flax seeds. My newest obsession are these basil seeds. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. Oh my gosh. There are 15 grams of fiber in 2 tablespoons of basil seeds.
Okay.
And if for reference, you probably want to eat like a minimum of 35 grams of fiber a day. So 15 grams of fiber is insane.
Okay. That's a lot of math. I'm like, I never go through my day and I'm like adding up my protein or my, do you guys do that? Like, and if we should be doing that, how do you do it? Do you,
so you don't need to do that every day.
Okay.
But I do, like I said, with the vegetables, like if you want to put your attention towards it for a week or so, maybe focus on eating 100 grams of protein a day, which everyone looks at me like I'm crazy. But then when you start doing it, you're like, actually, this isn't that hard. A serving of Greek yogurt has like 19 grams of protein.
Okay.
So once 3 ounces of chicken has 23 grams of protein. So, and that's half a restaurant portion.
Yes.
So when you focus on just focus on it for a little while, a week or two, really can make a huge difference. And then it'll start to become intuitive.
Yes.
I call it intelligent intuitive eating because it's not like, ooh, my body's craving a donut, I'm going to listen to my body. It's like, okay, I understand how I feel when I eat this food. And so I'm going to start to naturally seek this out.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be so like calculated and intentional and cumbersome. If you just put your awareness towards it for a short period of time, it'll eventually become a habit.
Why isn't this taught in the schools? I wish I would have had this knowledge when I was a kid.
Well, let's just try to get processed foods out of the schools.
I know we got issues.
I know it's a nightmare.
Speaking of restaurants, you mentioned, it's. I know you're a big proponent of or fan of cooking our own meals. That's going to show up on our face essentially at the end of the day, right? Why is that important?
Well, I think arguably the best thing you could do for your health is to eat more home cooked meals. We just don't know what's in the food. I had a client in New York who didn't cook at all. And she started calling all of her favorite takeout places. And she called this one restaurant that was like, healthy. And she asked if there was sugar. And they said, oh yeah, we sprinkle brown sugar on every takeout order for freshness. And the oils, I mean, it's concerning. And of course, we all eat some meals out, but if you could just try to eat more meals at home. Yeah. I send an email every Sunday with 5 dinner recipes for the week. So if you want to get on it, come up to me later and I'll add you to it.
Love that. Love. 2 more quick questions. Dairy. We always hear like dairy is the devil or something. Like as far as our skin goes, and dairy can not be so great for our overall health. What's your take?
So some people can't tolerate dairy. I love elimination diets where you remove a food for like 3 to 6 weeks and then you very carefully reintroduce it to see what your reaction is. A lot of people can't tolerate milk because it's got a lot of lactose, but fermented forms of dairy, the yeast eats away the carbohydrate, which is the lactose, so it doesn't have as much lactose. So if you're able to tolerate Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, that's a fermented food, which has some great lactobacillus probiotic value. That's really good for your gut skin axis. That's going to affect your skin. So if you have to figure out what your tolerance level is for dairy. I also think we have an issue with how we feed cows in this country. So organic, grass-fed. So I love Stonyfield Farms has an organic grass-fed Greek yogurt. Maple Hill. I'm obsessed with this Icelandic Greek yogurt that I can only find at Erewhon, but it's like $1 million.
Here's your 25 grams.
I know.
That'll just cost you 25 million.
$40 yogurt breakfast. But yeah, I'm a big fan of yogurt.
You have to advocate and you have to seek it and you have to go looking for it. And unfortunately, that's
but there are grass-fed dairy brands. Fage is not one of them. Everyone always asks me about that, but organic grass-fed is important. And that talk about antioxidants. If you're eating beef or any products from a cow, if you think about it, when the cow eats grass, we can't digest grass. Cows are vegan. So when the cow eats this super antioxidant-rich, nutrient-rich grass, it's like fermenting it. It's got all these stomachs to do it. And that creates a very antioxidant-rich product. Whereas like grain-fed cattle, you're not getting that same nutrient quality.
I could talk about this all day, but we have to talk about alcohol just before I let you go, because I mean, talk about wreaking havoc and now, what we are learning about the effects of alcohol on our bodies as a whole, but as it pertains to our skin, what's the protocol? Are you 3 drinks a week is no big deal? Totally try to cut it out altogether. Wine's fine. Vodka's not. What's your take?
So I like to have a drink sometimes. Okay. It's not great for your skin. It's not good for your sleep. It's not good for your liver. I would love to say, like red wine has antioxidants, but I don't really think that there are any clear benefits. So I think you have to find your sweet spot. I like to be really pragmatic about nutrition. Like, we're not going to live in a bubble and never dine out because it's going to have a little canola oil or some sugar sprinkled on it or whatever. You got to live your life. So what you do the majority of the time matters more than the minority of the time. And there's also like I like to think like joy is a nutrient. So if it's Friday night and you're with your girlfriends and you want to have a drink, I mean, don't cross the line where it ruins your whole weekend. But if you can do it in a way where it's not going to affect the rest of your life, then I think, use your judgment. But if you get home from the day and you're like, oh God, my day was so horrible, I need a glass of wine. That's a very different thing from, oh, I want this experience is going to be additive to my life. I'm going to remember this moment. I'm going to have a lot of fun. Then maybe that's a good choice.
I want a t-shirt that says joy is a nutrient. Joy is a nutrient. I've never heard that. That's so good.
It's a problem in nutrition because people get so rigid and strict and afraid. And like, sometimes we just got to live our lives.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Great stuff. Great stuff. Okay. Let's talk about movement, Mimi. Let's talk about moving the body a little bit. I think everybody in here probably knows exercise is good for us. Why is moving and its direct relation to our skin? Like, what's the connection there? Blood flow, circulation. Why is it so because people who exercise regularly do have a glow.
Right. They do.
Yeah.
They have the yoga glow.
Yes.
I can only speak on behalf of yoga because I can only teach yoga and I only practice yoga. That's my workout, if you want to call it a workout. But the truth is, yoga is not about bending and flipping. It's more about being with your breath and being in the present moment. And once you succeed in being with your breath and knowing how to breathe, because most of us don't know how to breathe, everything else falls into place. Your skin, your sleep, your nutrition just naturally falls into place. And that is the secret of yoga, of the practice of yoga. It's so powerful. I tell people all the time that it must be experienced. I mean, you and I were talking about yoga before we started all of this. It must be experienced.
Yeah.
And it's an internal experience. If you are able to take care of your inside internally, where the permanent is, then everything on the outside can be fixed.
It's so true. I'm such a believer. There's something about yoga in particular, the process of the movement. It's like a purging. I heard something once where someone said, like, we are not meant to be storage containers.
Yes.
That's where our stress is just living inside of us until we move it through.
It's a meditation in motion.
Yeah.
Meditation, I cannot sit in stillness. I'll be lying to you if I tell you I wake up in the morning and meditate. I don't. My meditation is movement. It's the asanas, the poses. And it's 1 hour of your day. It's just 1 hour of your day to be with your breath and to be with yourself as well. You getting to know yourself.
Yes. You said most of us do not know how to breathe. I'm glad you said that because I think we're seeing more and more in the wellness
including
world.
Myself, by the way. That's why it's a practice. And we have to practice it every single day.
But we see like the research is really out there that breathing, I mean, there's all these different apps again and modalities and like different exercises for breath work now. It's really a part of the wellness world. If you're kind of dialed in, that's a big part of it. So what are some key things about breathing that people can do even if they're not going to yoga?
All these apps are amazing and they do help a lot. For the people that cannot show up to yoga, or cannot be consistent in their yoga practice, is just take a moment for yourself any time of the day, whether it's when you wake up, or it can be if you're stuck in traffic, and just have that like awareness that I am breathing. Notice your breath, notice your inhale and your exhale. We're all breathing so shallow right now, you know? So if you just take a deep inhale through your nose and a deep exhale out through your nose or your mouth, it doesn't matter. That space in between the inhale and the exhale, that's the yoga.
I'm doing it right now. Are you guys doing it? I'm not, everyone's going,
that is the yoga.
Yes. That's so good. It's such an,
and it takes time.
Yes.
You can't rush
But
it.
it's free to everyone.
It's
That's what I
free.
love about it. Anybody, anywhere in the world can stop in the moment
Yes.
when you are feeling stressed, when you are feeling overwhelmed, and you can ground yourself
100%.
simply through the breath.
Mhm.
That is literally the reason we are alive.
And if you breathe properly, then we go back to the skin. I'm not a skin doctor. I'm not a skin expert as well. My routine is very simple and minimal, to be honest with you. I eat everything. I drink alcohol. Like, I'm not vegan. People think I'm a yogi. I eat plants. No, I eat all of it. But the one thing I don't mess with is my sleep.
Mm.
I don't mess with my sleep. 8 hours of sleep is my minimum. I don't care what's happening in the world. I have to sleep.
Do you sleep at the same time every day?
I wake up at the same time. It's so
okay,
interesting that
good.
she mentioned that, because sometimes, like, example, tonight I have an event. I'm not going to be able to go to bed at 8 p.m. I go to bed at 8 p.m. So I'll go to bed at 10, 11, but 5:30 I'm up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As someone like yourself whose life purpose is yoga and is movement, for people who do not have a real routine or find it difficult to get working out, or maybe didn't hit the yoga this morning, how would you encourage them to find a way to instill this into their everyday life, or at least some type of
1
ritual?
minute is better than 0 minutes. Start there. 1 minute. And I can speak on the experiences I've had with my students and my community, is that most people are scared to show up. I'm not fit enough. I can't touch my toes, all of that stuff. Again, it's not, you have to educate people and tell them that it's not about touching your toes or bending or flipping. It's really it really is all about showing up exactly the way you are. Just show up and continue to show up, because that's where the magic is at. And that's how you will get yourself into that routine. But you have to help yourself. Nobody can do the work for you. So 1 minute is better than 0 minutes. There's so much free content on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. What's your excuse? You don't have to come to the studio. You can play something on YouTube.
How did you find yoga? Because it's funny you said that. I had like an allergy to yoga for a long time. My mom was going on all these yoga retreats.
Yeah.
She's like, "Come with me." I was like, not really into it. Yeah, I just put it off for so many years until I didn't, and then it did click for me.
I love
you
that you
find
said
it?
I had an allergy. I had an allergy towards yoga. People would tell me yoga. I'm like, yoga? Yoga's so boring. Like, what is yoga? Well, long story short is I went into the yoga journey because I had my daughter. I lost her 10 months ago, and she was 12 years old. She was the reason I went into yoga. I was looking for that internal work, and I went in with no expectations, but as the moment I walked into that room with my first yoga teacher, Ewa Josephson, I knew this is it. This is the path I want to take. This is the practice I want to take. I love you. And not only did I want to do it for me, I wanted to share it with as many people as possible. And this is what I do on a daily basis: grow community. There's a secret in yoga. It's a ripple effect. I don't only help people; I help people help one another.
That's that connection again.
Yeah.
And it is spiritual. It's very spiritual. There's nowhere to go. Pushing your edge every day in a hot yoga
It's very
class.
spiritual.
It's like, oh, I thought I had an edge.
No.
We got it. Woo.
I tell them this is not Barry's bootcamp. God bless Barry's bootcamp. It works. My fiance is addicted to berries and addicted to yoga. But when you come to yoga, if you are not going to go within and take it as a spiritual practice, then it's just moving around.
Yeah.
It means nothing.
Yes.
That's the truth. And there's a teacher for everyone. If you're not in it for spirituality, I tell them, go to somebody else, please.
Beautiful. Thank you for
Thank
sharing
you.
that. And Nzingah, hello there. I know some of what Mimi was just talking about you so must resonate with as you teach yoga as well, and you are a vegan chef. But mindfulness, this piece of going within, which she was talking about, why is that just, it's so invaluable if we can all do that?
I think what we take for granted is stress is really killing us from the inside out. And what mindfulness allows us to be is an intentional and aware so that we can consume stress in a way that it doesn't destroy us. Again, a lot of people in the panel discussed it, but when it comes to skincare, stress boosts cortisol levels, right? When we boost those cortisol levels, we increase inflammation in the body. When we increase inflammation in the body, we also disrupt hormones. And some of us who have acne know that they can be driven by our hormones. It also disrupts our skin barrier. What? And so we end up being more dehydrated. Stress makes us not sleep well enough so we can get all that repair that we need. We don't show up in the world like we need to. Oh, by the way, did I mention that stress impacts your digestion? So you could be eating all this amazing food, but if you're stressed out, you're not breaking it down the way you need to in order for it to impact you in the way that you want it to. So how do we deal with our stress? Through mindfulness, right? Because the reality is we live in a society that says we're not allowed to feel. We have to keep pushing through, specifically for women. Feelings are bad. You're being emotional. And so we push these things in the background until they show up as disease, right? So mindfulness says I take moments in the day to be aware of where I am in the now. Not my past self, not my future self, but the self that's right here. And so that's why I feel like mindfulness is really important, because it allows us the space and grace to acknowledge that we're stressed out. Because oftentimes we're functionally stressed out, like what stress? I live with that. That's my bestie. But we don't want to be in a space that's our constant, because we're in a state of chronic stress. And so how do we modulate it? Because there's things that we can control, and then there's things that we cannot control. And in those things that we can control, that's where the mindfulness can be really impactful.
I'm curious, how many people in here meditate? Anybody? About 25, 30%, 40% of people? Meditating changed my life. I am the biggest fan, and I encourage anyone to try to learn a meditation practice that works for them. How might you encourage people to start? Because meditation in the fast-paced world you're talking about, where we are all frazzled and we're chaotic and we're high-functioning women and we're out there doing our thing, it can be very difficult for people to go in and to slow and to get centered and be still. And actually, the quietness is quite scary for a lot of people.
Okay. This is like my sweet spot, because I'm always talking about meditation.
Okay, go ahead.
One, it can be 30 seconds or a second long, right? Meditation is focusing on one thing for a moment. I think oftentimes we're looking for stillness, but in this fast-paced world, especially for those who have trauma and we've been pushing things in the background, stillness can be jarring. So there's other ways that you can meditate. As Mimi said, you can practice yoga. That's a moving meditation. Walking can be a form of meditation. I love walking meditations because you're not walking for your steps per se. You're more intentional, you're slower, you're being more aware of your environment, and you're taking everything in. Because again, when we're moving really fast, what are we noticing? Nothing. Drawing, doodling randomly can be a form of meditation that we often take for granted. Dancing is also a form of meditation. By the way, we're going to do one of those meditations together in a bit. But there's different ways that we can meditate that I think we often take for granted. And we feel like if they're thoughts, we're doing it wrong. And the thoughts will come. But what we want to do is we notice the thoughts, we receive it, and we let it go and find those little waking moments of stillness in that meditation. I don't feel for a lot of people that a concentrative meditation, that's the one where you're in stillness for extended periods of time, is a best point of entry, because to focus on nothing is hard. So I like to do things with our breath, where you just focus on inhaling through your nose and out through your mouth. And that's a form of meditation. I think the real challenge is we've been selling one form of meditation and we don't give people enough tools in their self-care kit to pull from, because sometimes I need to move what I'm feeling out of me and then find moments of stillness, or I do need those moments of silence because I'm feeling anxious and I just need to really ground myself. But I think the bigger conversation is expanding our meditation toolkit so that we know what we need in the moments that we need them.
You mentioned walking. I mean, that's like the easiest thing in the world. I think nature, I always tell people, just go out your front door if you can and just walk. And like you said, put your phone away so you can actually see the trees and notice the flowers and hear the birds, and paying attention to all those senses makes such a difference and is very restorative. But at the end of the day, in the way it pertains to skin health, there is a radiance, I think, that you find when you can practice mindfulness regularly and you are awakening to yourself and coming out of the world a little bit and spending time with me, that actually then that glow does come from in here and come out your pores, I like to say.
Exactly.
It's really true. I mean, like, you've all seen it. You meet somebody and you're like, whoo, what's she on? But like, often that is the work she's doing on the interior. Great advice all around today, ladies. So good. I learned so much. Did you guys? So great. Thank you to the panelists. I know we've got a whole afternoon planned for everybody, and Mia's curated a gorgeous lunch. I saw them designing the table outside. So make sure to take advantage of all the treatments and opportunities throughout the day. And I think, are we having a mindful movement of sorts too?
Yes.
In a little bit.
Meditation.
Okay, great. Meditation. All right. Well, thank you for being here, everyone. Thanks for having me as well. And have a beautiful day. Thanks.